going on, everyone? Welcome to Mobility Mondays. I'm Sean Fitzgerald. I'm one of the personal trainers here at the Upper Valley Aquatic Center. So, like always, go ahead, like, subscribe, and go ahead and see what other information we got going on today. So, basically, today we're going to work on some mobility, of body. So we started off working, from the ground up. So foot, ankle, calf, or knee. So now we're going to work our way into our hips, right? So basically, one area that constantly seems to be an issue with some people, kind of like an anger point. Um, we see a lot of stiffness. Some people come in and just, oh, I can't squat. They try to blame it on their knees. They're going to come in and they can't do certain exercises because they can't bend certain ways or they can't move. They just don't feel that great. So, but what we're going to do today, it's probably going to be, maybe over the next couple sessions, just because there is so much that we are able to do with the hip, and that way we can actually be able to kind of cover a wide variety of information and kind of go through a bunch of different exercises that you can literally do just about anywhere again, like always. So we can do things in the gym, before a workout, after a workout, at home, in the office, wherever, right? So, but basically, what we're going to do today, like we said, we're going to focus all here, right on your hips, right? So you got a lot that's going on around there. So, if you got, some people might have a hip replacement, some people might have arthritis, basically everything is to your tolerance again. If it hurts, don't do it, right? It's really that simple. So what you want to do is really maintain the awareness of what my body is able to do and what I can do, right? And you want to go, again, we're not looking for pain, we're just looking for that slight little bit of discomfort, because we want to make sure you're actually working the area that we want to work on, right? So, basically what we're going to do right now is just a simple little exercise that kind of can be done standing just about anywhere. All right, so you can literally be brushing your teeth. You can have, if you're lucky enough to have a desk that you can stand at, you can do it standing there. You can do it just hanging out wherever, you are at, the office, the gym, or anything like that. So, but it's real simple. All, what we're going to do is you're basically going to stay straight on, right? So you can't really see my feet at this angle, but what you're going to do is you're going to imagine that in my heel, like right here, right, I got a pen, okay? And what you're going to do is I'm going to start with my left foot down. I got a pen in the heel of my right foot. And what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to be doing like affinity circles, right? So as you can see, so basically all I'm doing is moving my hips, or my one hip, right, around. Right? So basically having that pen, you're just kind of figure eight, all right? Infinities, they're, in any different terms, but basically what you want to do is that you're balancing on that one foot and we're just making a figure eight, so it's big, so basically you're just working the hip, right? You're just literally moving it around. And it doesn't have to be much, not crazy, you don't have to do it for like 10 minutes. Nope. It literally can be like 30 seconds each leg or something that kind of helps getting it moving. So basically, so what's going to happen is that if you're right-footed, your left is you're going to be awkward, right? You're going to be like, how do I twist? But, once you get it, it's real simple. You can figure out what works for you, what doesn't work, and then you might even find that, my leg that's standing, right, that I'm balancing on, that actually might get a little tight, right? So again, it kind of can work both, right? Because you're trying to just hold yourself in, you're trying to stabilize yourself, right? And just basically making sure you can move, while the other leg is you're just trying to really open up that hip, move it a little bit, right? So we're not just keeping it in a locked position, right? So figure eights, infinities, whatever you want to call them, right? Simple. Doesn't have to be much. You can literally do it a couple times and loosen yourself right up. The more and more you do them, the better and better they feel. Easier and easier they get. So that's all good, right? So another thing that we can go called hugs, right? You just kind of bring this up and you just kind of, bring your knee up. So this one's kind of, you see if you're laying on the floor or something on your back and you just kind of bring your knees to like your chest. And, kind of the same old principle, right? But standing instead. I'm just kind of going back and forth and just kind of pulling. So, what you might feel is that you might feel it right here, right along where your hip flexors are. Right? So if you're tight, that will be where you're going to feel that uncomfortable because as you're bringing it up, that's exactly what this area is doing, right? You can feel it literally. You just put your hands right in there, and you can feel it. All right. So, speaking of the hip flexor, right? So that's where majority of the people are gonna have your issues, right? Because I want you to think about what position you drive in, right? What do you look like? You look like this, right? I'm seated, right? So you take a look at that, and then if you go and stand up, right, you can feel it. You feel it moving, right? So you drive, right? Say you drive minimal 10 minutes to work, right? 10 minutes there and there, it's like 20 minutes, right? Okay, not crazy. Some people might be driving 30 minutes, an hour, right? So the longer you're in that sitting position, that's what you're going to feel, all right? So let's go before work. You're eating breakfast. Do you sit at a table to eat breakfast, or do you stand? Right? What choice do you have? Do you all sit down at at a table? You sit down on the couch. You sit down in a chair, whatever, But are you sitting, or are you standing? Even before that, take a look at your sleeping position. Do you sleep on your back, legs straight out, or do you sleep on your side with your knees bent? Right? So you think about that. All right. Then you're at the office, right? Do you sit or do you stand? How often do you sit? How often do you stand? How often do you move? Right? So you work 8, 9, 10 hours, right? Do you sit for 3, 4, 5, maybe all 8? Right? All right. There you got to drive back home, right? So sitting again. You get home. You're tired. What do you want to do? You just want to sit right on the couch, right? You just want to plop right on down. Yep. Dinner. You sitting at a table? Yep. Right? So if you think about it, you're constantly in this position, this sitting, this flexed position, right? Probably for 80% of your day without even realizing it, right? So then you wonder why, my hip flexor here. I'm never completely, elongate. Like I never expand out. I'm constantly flexed. All right. So that will help maybe understand, be like, oh, why am I so tight, right? All right. So we did some simple infinities, figure eights, and we did just some knee hugs, right? Just a couple simple, real quick exercises, right? Nothing too crazy. Nothing that's really going to cause a lot of discomfort or really a lot of time that you have to spend elsewhere, right? So how about this? How about a simple little stretch that we can do right here is I'm half kneeling, right? And all I'm doing is leaning forward, right? Where do you feel it, right? Do you feel it back here, right here? More than likely, right? Right in that hip flexor, right? Depending on how much you have been sitting, how much you've been actually working on, maybe stretching at all, or maybe you did a hip dominant workout, right, or something. Might be a little tight, right? So basically, just sitting in this little half kneeling position is you're going to feel it. You're going to feel one side might be a little tighter, it might be a little looser, it's kind of how the body, is how it finds the most efficient way, right, to move. So these are ones literally, like right here, it's just a simple one that you're able to do just about anywhere, right? You can do it at home, just before bed, as soon as you wake up, on the floor with the kiddos, or, if you just ate, or just before you're about to eat, you're going to watch something, you just kind of pop out 20 seconds on each, maybe a couple times, right? Just a little bit something to kind of give you a little bit, right? So nothing too crazy, right? Nothing that's horrible. You don't really need a whole lot. And then how about this one? You guys remember going to high school, playing sports, or like PE classes, right? And you're just, you gotta sit here, right? You're gonna feel it all right in here, right? Still, just a nice little stretch, and it feels pretty good, like here you can kind of use your elbows, if you want to push down, bring your toes up, right? You're gonna feel it in a different way, So those are all things that you're able to do just about anywhere to start, getting a little bit into those hips, right? So the more you're able to do it, the better, right? Just like anything else, the more you're able to keep getting into doing your exercises, keep getting involved, and really working on. I've been sitting for too long. I need to maybe get up and move, or maybe try a new sleeping position, or maybe I'll stand while I eat breakfast or something. If it's like a bagel, or whatever, right? So being able to kind of maybe be a little more aware of what I'm able to do, how I'm able to do it, and kind of bring that awareness to yourself to where you can start making, your changes literally just like that, right? Something simple, nothing that requires gym equipment, nothing that requires, you spending hours at the gym, or, anything like that. These are little simple, small little things that, you can build on for those little wins that we're looking for, right? So down on the ground, we had the butterfly stretch, right? Well, why don't you just kind of spread your legs and just lean to one side, right? So that's another one. I'm working right on the inside, the groin, right? There we go. Just use terminology that you guys know. Like that. Here's my groin. Like that's, you see all those athletes. Take a look at Anthony Davis. Kind of always is pulling his groin. Is what they're saying. So, that's an area that his coaches will have to work on. But if you're just doing this little simple stretch, you'll be like, all right, I can see why maybe I can understand that a little bit, right? So again, I'm doing simple, small little things that doesn't require a whole lot of time. I can literally be standing at the sink doing dishes and just kind of, hold this here for a little bit, hold this here for a little bit, wash the dishes, rinse them out, put them in the dishwasher, whatever. Or, you're going in to the family room, bedroom, whatever, and you guys are going to watch a movie with the fam, right? Literally just, all right, before the even opening credits, the previews or anything like that, you just go, all right, I'm just going to do like 15 seconds each. I'm just going to go back 15 seconds each. So think about things like that don't really add into your day or anything, and just might help feel a little better when you're watching that movie. So maybe you don't feel as stiff getting up from the couch after the movie or the TV show or anything like that. So, so those are a couple different things that we can do to start with. They're all very simple, very small movements that don't require a lot. The hardest one that you will probably be able to, from that sequence, is just your figure eights, right? That's going to be the hardest one because that involves a little bit more coordination, right? It involves a little bit more of, all right, I got to make sure I'm moving, I got to make sure I'm balancing, I got to make sure that, I'm okay, right? So if you don't have good balance, right? I don't have, hold a stick, like a broom, a mop, something, or, put your hand on like a dresser, or cabinet, door, whatever you got, and then do it, right? So try to work on maybe barely holding on, right? So then you're tackling your balance, maybe deficiencies with your hip, right? So you're kind of really doing two things at once, really working on that balance, strengthening that ankle, right? Working on that connection with the one leg while you're kind of moving your hip, right? So those are all, little tidbits that you can kind of take with you and try at home, hold on to a counter, things like that. A lot of people try to do maybe a little bit too much right at start. They see a social media post about how, do these 3 exercises to great hip mobility. Well, they look great doing it because take a look at how long they've been doing it, right? So they've been probably doing the little stuff for a longer time, right? So they're able to look a little better. They're able to, do more, right? So again, it's not how fast, it's the right way, it's the safe way for your body, right? So we don't want, we'll wind up doing a tactical frog or, frog pose. Everyone has kind of a different name for it, but it's going to be based off of where you feel, right? Because everyone's going to be able to move a different way based off of what they have done before, right? I'm not going to ask you to squat 200 pounds when you've never even really squatted with a barbell or things like that. So you want to start off with what you're able to do, figure out your limitations, right? If I'm standing in this pose and I can really only lean just like an inch, that's where your body's going to be at that point. So there's no point in trying to get all the way down here and do that because you're going to feel it the next day, or you might get hurt, or your body is telling you, I can only move this way for right now, right? And that's the key, for right now. We want to make sure that you keep doing that, right? Keep doing it. Keep going a little bit farther. Let your body know, I can move in that way. It is safe. I'm not hurting myself, right? And then we can start to open up into more advanced position, right? So understanding that aspect, I think, might help with certain things. Understanding that your body is going to tell you what it likes and what it doesn't like, okay? So it's kind of understanding where you want to go. People that lay on their back and try to do a hamstring stretch, right? Well, goal, everyone wants to get to that 90 pose where the legs straight up in the air, and some people just can't, right? So we want to make sure that you start to understand your body also. So, like us, when we work with you, or, we are doing some, assessments or, screenings and some manipulations and things like that, we can learn, what you like and what your body doesn't like and what it does like, but it's also extremely beneficial that you learn it also, because you might eventually be able to go on and do things yourself, and we're not always going to be there. So it's always nice to have that learning period with us. I want you to learn why we want to do things a certain way, why you should take a look at doing this exercise maybe, or why don't we hold off on that exercise until we master this, So it's learning your own body and how it speaks to you. And I think that will actually be very beneficial for you in the long run. So we only went over a couple so far. So next week we'll stay on the hip, just because there's probably about another 20 things that we can go over with. So we'll do another segment with the hip, and we'll do another handful of exercises, right? We'll start to go a little bit more advanced. So that way you can kind of really see what you like, what you don't like, see where you can kind of push your limits a little bit, and see if anything helps to help, loosen up your hip flexors, start loosening up your hips, make you feel a little bit better. But like always, thanks for joining. If you're ever in the Upper Valley Aquatic Center, hey, don't be afraid to come on in, have a little chat with us. And like always, like and subscribe, right? Go ahead. We're going to share some knowledge. And, it's always great to meet up and connect with anyone and everyone. And if you guys got any inputs, you want to go over certain areas that we might want to go more in depth or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out. And it's Monday, so hopefully you guys are starting your week out really strong. I hope you all had a great weekend. And, hey, let's go ahead and let's have a great week. All right. I'll enjoy.